Hello. Um, how's it going? It's me again. I guess probably don't always need to say that, but I guess you probably know it's me. But it's me. Um, Happy late Christmas solstice, whatever you celebrate. I had meant to make a video for around the solstice, but I'm kind of really busy. Uh, yeah. Anyway, hey, so I'm in a Borewood. The video I showed you at the beginning, that was kind of, everything around me. But the very last bit, where there's like some sort of hole, that was most likely a female boar trying to find a truffle. Fun fact, I learned this recently. The reason why boars and pigs, and also some dogs as well, can scent out truffles, but humans can't, is apparently that the truffles have the same odor, the same smell as the male boar pheromone. Um, so it's a female trying to get at what she thinks is a male, but it turns out it's truffle. Have you had truffles? I didn't ever have truffles until I came here. And then, and actually, I never had truffles until I met my man. And now my life is kind of full of truffles. They're really good. Yeah, they're a little expensive, but not so much in Europe because they're native here. They're all over the place. And they're really good. There's absolutely no way to describe the taste of a truffle except that it's everything you've been missing in your life. Yeah, anyway, so welcome to this video. It's raining and gray, and I'm getting cabin fever like crazy. Just, winter, cold. This time, traditionally, humans would gather together in their homes, of course, because it's cold outside. Have lots of celebrations together, and, see lots of people. Work is over. It's cold, so you eat lots and you spend lots of time together. But, of course, there's COVID, so that's kind of altering some of that. Here, well, in most of Europe, there are all kinds of travel restrictions, limits on how many people you can have in your home. Right now it's 2 here, two, and I think it's like 2 from another household, but oddly enough, the rules are you're not allowed to go for a walk with more than one person. So if you invite a cousin over and your cousin's wife, you have to leave your cousin's wife or your cousin at home if you want to go for a walk after dinner. Strange rules. Kind of gives one the sense that the governments don't really know what they're doing, or that they're trying to balance things in a very bizarre way. For example, here, this has happened all over the place. France, Germany, Luxembourg. One of the things that you're not allowed to buy under the non-essential things is candy, oddly. You can't buy chocolate. Chocolate is non-essential. I'm sure some people would beg to differ. Interestingly, alcohol is essential, and so is tobacco and cigarettes. So you can get those, but you can't get chocolate. And you'll see in some stores, well, actually this is law, the ones that are allowed to be open, the grocery stores, etc. If they sell chocolate, they have to cover it. You can't buy it. Same way with like the convenience stores or other things. If it's a big supermarket, hypermarché as they call it, and they also sell clothing, you can't buy those clothes. That regulation is probably to kind of protect all of the small businesses, or excuse me, the clothing exclusive businesses or the chocolate exclusive businesses that can't be open. So no one's allowed to have chocolate anywhere, even though there are some stores that would normally sell chocolate and other things. They can't sell it. So strange. Hello, Rain. Also, I was going to say this video was also a little delayed because I had read, I was promised, that it was going to snow. And it did. It snowed a lot yesterday and the day before. Unfortunately, none of it stuck. However, everything's flooded, kind of intensely. I was going to make this video at one of the streams, but for some reason my bike told me to come here. So, I'm here. in a boar wood, where there are boars. Pretty sure I heard one, but you never know. Was it a boar or... No, it was a boar. So, yeah. I usually talk about like my thoughts and, ideas that I'm having. Lately, I spent Christmas with my man, which was amazing. It's always amazing. Also got to see his mother, which is great. She's a lovely lady. There's an airplane going by. My family who lives in Luxembourg, well, part of my family lives in Luxembourg, they're actually in America right now, which worries the hell out of me because it actually worried them too. They went to go see family, but, no real social distancing protocols. America's a nightmare, etc., etc. America has kind of just sort of disappeared in my mind, though. I know it exists. Occasionally I'll look on social media and see something stupid that Americans are doing or complaining about or whatever. But it's so far from my head now because they've been gone for so long. I guess it's been almost 4 years now. No, it's been 4 years since I've been to the United States. That feels good. And it makes the United States feel a little unreal to me. I spent holiday dinners with my man and his mother. That was okay because it was 2 people from the same household and 1 person from another household. But never mind the rules. Well, I guess we should pay attention to those. Been thinking a lot, but not in any ways I can really quite describe. Oh, I've restarted a project that I started a couple of years ago that I left off because my life became chaotic right when I started it. It's called the Pagan Music List, where I kind of compile all of the music I really like, that I think other people will like. I had been thinking, and actually I have an interview coming up with a musician. It's pretty exciting. I've been thinking lately about how the aesthetics of music are kind of how we're able to access cultural knowledge a little bit easier than, well, a lot easier, honestly, than books, blogs, whatever. You can read about a culture, you can watch a film about a culture, but if you actually want to kind of access the mindset of a culture, especially a culture you're trying to return to, if it's an ancestral culture, the fastest way is usually through music. Music created by people from that culture, or music created by people who are, recreating or reconstructing that culture. So spending a lot of time reading about, while listening to lots of pagan music that I've kind of collected over the years or recently discovered, has kind of put me in a really amazing mindset. One of those slipping through or slipping out of time moments, which, the end of the year is liminal time as well. In Europe they call New Year's Sylvester. I'm going to do another video for Sylvester. This I promise I'll do. I'm going to be in a really cool place. I'll tell you about it in a moment. But Sylvester, even though it's New Year's, whatever, it's the Gregorian calendar. So the Catholics made it up. It's not really kind of tied to any seasons or anything. But of course it takes place pretty close to the winter solstice, which is a big turn, a big geological, astrological, astronomical turn. The days start getting longer after that, etc. But Sylvester, New Year's, and also midwinter, and also Christmas, and all of those other festivals around this time are all liminal times. They're all times when time kind of changes. Time becomes something else. The meaning, our relationship to time changes. Our relationship to the earth changes too. It's cold. It's cold and wet and gray. Though, to be fair, there's lots of green around here as well. Winter is the time of moss. Moss loves winter, especially when it's rainy. I'm going to walk a little bit with you and hopefully not trip, because I want to show you one of the many little ponds that have kind of formed around here. I'm on a hill. I'm high up, actually. But there are all these low areas here where water is not draining out. And so, there's little lakes, little streams. I don't really have quite the right boots for this. Well, they should be, but there's a hole in the sole of them. So, oh, see, here's one of the cool little lakes. There's a bunch of them around here. Made by, well, just depressions where the water kind of fills up, which slows it down as well, which is good because everything is kind of flooded. So when it's flooded up here, and it takes a while, this in pre-industrial times or pre-global warming times, this would be snow, not rain, and it would all be melting very slowly in the spring. You'd get your floods in the spring, but not these floods in the winter. But I'm sorry, I heard somebody in the woods. They're on another hill. They're on that hill on the other side. I was talking about liminality. Oh, yeah. So your relationship with the earth changes around this time because things are cold. I can't just easily lay down on this because I will get soaked. And soaked and cold. Everything kind of feels dead, but as I said, again, moss really likes this time. And with that liminality, with that change in the way we perceive time, we start seeing what lives when there's no light or little light, in our own lives too, not just in forests. Forests are, they're not just a metaphor, but they're a really great place to kind of get a mirror of humanity and the soul, which is why I spend so much time in them. And I once called, actually the Welsh word for midwinter solstice, I think it's Alban Arthun, translates as light of the earth. Because midsummer solstice, that's the light of the sun, but when there's no light, there's still kind of a light from the earth. It's a light you don't really see with your eyes. You don't look at it. You feel it. You feel, what's there when all of the glamour, all of the fantasy, all of the beautiful illusions that we have. Illusions are not bad. Fantasies are not bad at all. When those kind of fade away, when we're us naked under all of those aesthetics. That's the light of the soul, the light of the earth, who we are when we're alone, who we are in the darkness, who we are at night. And I think that liminality is kind of what transforms us, or cleanses us, or rearranges us. Rearranges us, that's a better word. Rearranges us for the next year, or for the next cycle. This year, again, Gregorian calendar is off, but, this is a time when we reassemble. The alchemists called it Negredo, the blackening time, the time when everything is burned down into nothing or into its base components, which it's then from there that things are transformed. And they have to go to that point, just like we have to go to the grave to be transformed, just like we have to go, through birth. The womb is a kind of grave. I think I mentioned this in my video about Judith. And so in this liminality, our thoughts are different. My thoughts are different. Good thoughts. They're really good thoughts. It's nice though. Alright, it's weird. As I said, cabin fever, right? Oh, I'm spending way too much time inside. So I'm trying to spend a little bit of time outside in places like this. But it's also good to kind of get forced to look at your thoughts. A lot of us kind of get... I met someone the other day, a guest, or actually somebody who was a roommate of my man. great guy, you know, and he went through some really intense trauma. He was a Syrian refugee. And now, you know, he's a good guy, but he can't stop looking at his phone. Ever. Ever. Like, every 2 minutes, he's always looking at his phone. You try to talk to him, and he's like, what? And that's one of those things that we humans kind of start doing when we don't want to look at things. We don't want to look at our emotions. We don't want to look at what's underneath everything. We don't want to look at the light of the soul, which feels like a darkness, even though it's its own light. Screens, we use that. We use screens all of the time to do that. We use drugs, we use alcohol, we use all kinds of things to just not be alone with our thoughts, because we kind of don't want to have to sort through them. But then it's those moments when, you know, you don't have distractions. You know, during the winter, it was natural not to have distractions. There's no more work. There's no sun. You don't go outside and play. You're inside. You're indoors. You're in the darkness. You know, so you're alone with those thoughts. You're in the moment of Negredo, you know, and that's what transforms you. So yeah, that's where I am right now too, or coming out of it. And it's good. It's good. It feels good. I am. Oh, the mud just tried to take my shoe off my boot. I need my boot. Anyway, so I'm actually fucking optimistic. I have a lot of inspiration, a lot more than I've had in a while, which has been good. So, anyway, I'll talk to you again really soon. If you don't see the next one before New Year, Happy New Year. Happy Sylvester. By the way, Sylvester was named after Sylvester is, you know, woods, which is one of those funny things, but it's named after a saint who was a pope, Pope Sylvester, who, you know, all these weird kind of non-Catholic rumors and myths about him, including some crazy stuff about, like, him being a magician and him making contracts with fairies to make them go away and other things. I've always loved that stuff, and I've always wanted to find more. And I've always enjoyed the fact that, you know, it's the Feast of Sylvester, which was named after a pope. That pope was named after the forest, somebody from the forest. So, a happy end of the year, or happy forest at the end of the year. And here's to the next forest, which will be the same one, just a little bigger. And yeah. Love you all. Be well.